council
Checking your
meeting.
watch already.
Yeah, shortage of the long council meeting. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody enjoyed our Houston Thanksgiving parade. We thanked all the corporate underwriters. It would not happen without the corporate support. HEB, KHOU11. But Air Liquide provided the helium for all those big balloons, so I want to give a shout out to them. We had, and in the midst of all of that, as was mentioned by council members, we had some local demonstrations around the Ferguson incident, and as fortunately the history of Houston, they were focused and peaceful, and the appropriate way to demonstrate and exercise First Amendment rights. Are there any questions?
So Mayor,
Doug wasn't here when we were asking what we were going to ask, so we don't know.
so I may catch you by surprise here.
Okay.
I think you can handle it. Body cameras, I'd like to ask you about that. We spoke with the police chief last week. He mentioned that it's going to cost about $7 million. Have you figured out where you're going to find the money? Are you hoping to get some of the funds that President Obama talked about?
We are absolutely going to apply, as is every other big police department across the United States, for body cams. It actually, not every police department will want to go that route, because you have to have the policy in place, you have to have the ability to store the records from the body cams, but we've had our pilot up, we know what we want in the cameras. We have a good initial policy that we're ready to roll forward. However, we're not going to wait for the federal dollars. We're going to apply, but we are seeking other forms of philanthropic and grant support, in addition to scrubbing the police budget again to figure out whether we can do it internally. We're hoping to be able to get a private match, and so instead of finding $7 million, only having to find half of that.
So you say philanthropic and grant support. What do you think of the police foundation?
There are individual foundations, in addition to the police foundation, that are interested in this particular issue. It's the next big step forward in policing, and the big departments are already moving in this direction.
How great is the interest then?
Meaning,
In matching, in donating?
Is the phone ringing off the hook? What?
well, the phone's not ringing off the hook, but we're making some targeted outreach.
Okay.
And as the national debate on body cams gets more robust, I think you're going to see more interest in this.
And Mayor, there was a Houston firefighter posted something on Facebook, offensive content to some, and with a threat as well. Is there a social media policy in place for public employees? And if there is one, does something like this suggest perhaps it needs to be clarified or revised?
There is a social media policy in place. It focuses on use of city assets for posting to social media, but it also covers private communications on social media that may bring cast disrespect on the city of Houston, or may bring embarrassment to the city of Houston. I don't think there's anything wrong with the policy, but with 23,000 employees, there are people who are going to transgress. There is a review going on right now as to whether the comments attributed to this firefighter fall within the bounds of our current social media policy. Unfortunately, there was another recent incident with another firefighter that also seemed to indicate racial or ethnic bias, and we take that very seriously.
What's the range of discipline or disciplinary action for those things, and do you think that's sufficient?
I'm not sure what the range of disciplinary action is, but there's an ongoing investigation. Yeah. If I could answer the question about what the possible range was, I would, but there's an ongoing investigation until we figure out what till we get to the end of that, we need his due process.
How troublesome is it?
Well, anytime there's a city employee who exhibits attitudes or opinions that indicate that they're not perhaps willing to serve all citizens of Houston equally, that is a concern. And we have policies in place for that. It is particularly concerning when it's in an employee who is in, or exhibited by an employee who is in a customer-facing part of the city. But we'll do our full investigation, and if there's some remediation that needs to take place, we will do that.
And one more question on that, just in terms of social media on private accounts, what kind of line has to be walked when you also look at freedom of speech issues?
Well, if you identify yourself as an employee of the city of Houston, or in some way affiliate yourself with the city of Houston, that puts you in our orbit right there.